So this is for the Gen Zs. Don't get me wrong, Gen Zs, I love you to death. My favorite cousins are Gen Zs. You guys are great. However, the sense of entitlement, the sense of entitlement is strong in your generation. Don't care about other people. Some of you, not all, but there are some of you that feel like you're owed things. Us Gen X's, we came from humble beginnings. Some of us, yeah. We came from humble beginnings. We know the foundation that's laid for us. We have elevated. We know the struggle. So we pay attention to whatever we have and make sure that we don't lose it because it was hard to get here. The Gen Zs, for example, I was talking to a few people to find out when they realized they were from humble beginnings, aka poor. I don't like to say that because it's like a trigger for a lot of people, but I was asking people that, and random people had different perspectives of what they considered poor or what when they went through. So in my household and some other people, like the dishwashing liquid, we always had water in it. It wasn't the thick, rich dishwashing liquid that we buy in the store. It was always watered down. So when I started buying my own dishwashing liquid, I realized that it was thick as hell, not knowing that my grandmother watered down the dishwashing liquid. Also, ramen noodles was a staple in our home. It was just like you had to have, like, that was a struggle meal. Like when there was nothing else to eat, ramen noodles was the way to go. Then, I had times where I poured the cereal out because I'm a pour the cereal before the milk kind of girl. And I would pour the cereal out, pouring the milk after, realizing it's not enough milk. I had to add a little bit of water. Now I notice that that's considered the 1% and 2% milk when you add a little water to thin it out. But we all had something in our past that laid the foundations for who we are. For another example, opening a can. So, growing up with my grandparents and my great grandfather, we opened cans with knives. We didn't need a can opener. We didn't have a can opener. And to this day, I can open up a can with a knife. Let's get a round of applause for me because I don't need modern technology. But these Gen Zs, they need everything. Like, they can't go without any of these material things that we went without in the past. Internet, if they don't have internet, the whole world is doomed. If they don't have cable, cable is obsolete. But if they don't have Netflix, it's doomed. I think coming from a Gen X and producing a Gen Z, I want my child to not go without. I want my child to experience the things that I couldn't experience at her age. So yes, she's going to have her bank account when she's in her teens. She's not going to have to want. She's not going to have to work unless she wants to. She's not going to be able to, she doesn't have to cook and do laundry if she doesn't have to. Now she wants to do those things. But I didn't impose that on her. I wanted her to be a child as long as possible. And some of the Gen Zs take that for granted. Some of the Gen Zs feel like they're entitled to have those things. Have you ever heard a child not doing good in school, but they have the latest Jordans? Why? Why? Because they feel like they're supposed to have that? Who told them that? Or they're supposed to have exorbitant amount of money for anything. They're supposed to Uber Eats it all the time. They're supposed to eat out whenever they want to. Why? Why do you feel like you're supposed to have that? And God forbid if we don't give it to them, they're like, all right, when is your next payday? What? You What? You're asking about when the next time I get paid? How dare you? Like, I couldn't ask my parents that. I'd have got slapped in the face. I know you can resonate with me because we would have got slapped. How dare you ask when you getting paid next? No. Or how much you make. What? We were seen but not heard. Can I get an amen for that? We were seen but not heard. But these Gen Zs are so entitled. I don't even know how to deal with them. When they have conversations among themselves, you'll be like, what happened? Like, are you 25 or are you 15? Are you 30 or are you 18? Like, there's some things that I can't, I don't understand. For instance, one of my colleagues called me because I'm an old person and all I do is work and go home. Called me and said if I can pick up her Uber Eats. Granted, we live not too far from each other, and her Uber Eats was supposed to be delivered to her workplace. Mistakenly, she sent it to her home address. Now, she had the audacity to call Nikki and say, "Girl, can you pick up my Uber Eats for me? I'll pay you." What? Do I look like Uber? Do I look like Uber Eats or DoorDash? I was like, boo boo, I am not home. I'm outside. Do you think because I'm not at work that I'm home just twiddling my thumbs doing nothing? No, I'm outside like you are outside. And I had to tell her, how dare you? You felt so entitled that someone should do that. I had to tell her, if it was an emergency where your life was being threatened, you were ill and you need to go to the hospital, I would have came running. But for Uber Eats that you can cancel and reorder, that you can either put it in a Uber and send it, but you thought Nikki was supposed to get it and bring it to you. What the hell I look like? Exactly. So these Gen Zs, they are so entitled. They have the latest of everything. Everything. And we came from humble beginnings. That's all I have to say about them Gen Zs. But I love you guys. Gen Zs, you're the best. Don't come for me. I'm sorry. Love you. Until next video.